Hello. How are you, darlings? Almost didn't make it. My internet just shut down and I had to boot the modem back up. But I'm here. Let's go ahead and get started. I'm going to bring everybody in here because my brain is about to explode with all this information. We are going to get through as much as we can, but there's so much on the Mayans alone that we may only get to that one, but we'll do our best. Everyone come on in. Let's see. There's our goodness.
You have to enter and sign in, please.
Greetings.
Hello,
Hi, everyone.
hello.
How we doing?
Love it.
Check them out. You got the Maya thing going on.
Oh, he's got the
there?
calendar. Okay.
Yeah.
Hey, that is smile. I think that's your picture behind you.
And one of the things we forgot to touch on when we were doing the Stonehenge, the Mayan calendar behind him, the sun disk.
Uh-huh.
I had a vision that if you took that and placed it over top of Stonehenge, it would be in key points. I just forgot to bring it up.
Well, yeah, we did touch base on how Stonehenge is set up based on the solstice,
Mhm.
and that calendar is kind of the same thing. So,
Wouldn't it be interesting if you put this on top of Stonehenge, lay it flat? It would be a giant's table.
That's what I said.
All
Yeah.
Stonehenge would have been.
Oh, you're looking at it as a table. I hope there's pizza. That's all. Lasagna,
opinion.
one of the two.
just a bigger table to
Italian
put his
appease.
coffee pot. He needs a place to keep all the coffee pots and all the coffee
I
mugs.
think they hit the table and it rolled all the way to Mexico.
Okay. I've got only about 10,000 pictures I can share, but
Is that all?
But yeah, that's it. Let's
Okay.
jump into this. How many of you were scratching your head halfway through?
I'm too old to be jumping in.
Well, I found it fascinating that the Mayans have been around for more than 3,500 years.
Mm-hmm.
Yep.
Yeah, I kept going through this deep dive going, not going to go in that rabbit hole, not that rabbit hole.
There's a lot of rabbit holes. Let me see if I
Are
can
you
get this.
are you
timeline.
touching on the Aztecs as well?
Yeah.
Can I mention the Olmecs?
Yep. Olmec period is the very first one, I believe.
So
Yeah.
like the Olmec Stampede.
Well, that's older than all of them. And one thing they were which was funny. I don't know if you had that picture, Jen, of what they found of a giant head sculpture. Now that's going to be connected to the Easter Island.
Mm-hmm.
That's what I was thinking too.
I think I sent you that picture though. They also did sculpturing with a lot of. Why is this making noise? Yeah, but I believe that was one of the actual first football teams.
I like it. I like it.
That would be the likeness of Jim Thorpe,
Yeah.
probably.
Patent pending.
Yeah, they look like the beginning of the Bears, but I mean, the sculpture of the giant heads. Now, did anybody dig deeper and see if they were still bodies like they had before? I think I just want to touch, and these are, and Dennis, I don't know how hard the stone is. Basalt, is it also like sandstone or is it harder?
Oh, I think it's harder.
Yeah, so they made these out of harder stones.
Yeah.
What I found interesting was there was that other in La Venta, the serpent. I think I sent that one to you too, Jen.
Mm-hmm.
And these are the rabbit holes that I was going into. We'll wait for that one. But another thing that made me have another question about was these are also in areas of the United States, and I was trying to figure out were they portal holes to Chicago, San Francisco, New York, Smithsonian, Texas. They all say they have replicas, but are they the replicas? All right, going to that, stone carving. If you notice inside the serpent that is in La Venta, you see the same guy that's carrying the purse. I don't see the watch on him, but the purse that is also in the pyramids of Gaza, they're also in Gobekli Tepe. So are they the same entity that started the Mayan, the Olmec, that's what I've been questioning.
Well, it's not a purse. It's a man bag, okay?
Okay,
Yeah.
yeah.
It's not a man bag.
By the way, guys.
It's a padlock. Come on now.
Padlock.
Well, what does he identify as? That's what we needed to
That's
know.
true.
gosh.
Yeah, very good point. Good.
We have to
point,
check the pronouns.
Mhm.
But I mean, was it a blueprint that was given to all of them for the balance that we said that the pyramids were presenting?
Well, and the Anunnaki also had the handbags. Just throwing it out there.
Yep. Well, didn't they all worship the same god, but they were called something else? They all worship the god of the sun god.
Wow, sounds familiar. I think we still do.
It went from the sun god to the moon god, back to the sun god.
Yeah, exactly.
And see this picture. I came across this picture last night. The similar picture, and one of the things. This isn't the only one like this. There's several like this with the serpent wrapped around someone like this. But is that an impression or interpretation of if the serpents flew? Is it a capsule, kind of like along the lines of the Mayans and everything like that? Would that be representation of something that is flying?
Yeah, because that's what they said. This one had feathers. This serpent had feathers.
And
Or
the head,
Is
the
it a
heads.
dragon, though?
Oh, dragon?
That's what I'm thinking, dragon.
Yeah, that's what I took it as a dragon.
Yeah.
Serpent and dragon seem to kind of go hand in hand, even though they're used in different ways on the
No, they're
three
both
civilizations.
reptilian,
Yeah.
so.
Right. Ooh, look at you going the reptilian route.
Yeah, that came after, because I would think maybe they were enlightened, and then when the reptilian took over, that's when they started doing those sacrifices.
Mm-hmm.
Well, there is one thing that I found that they all had in common is they did human sacrifice.
Yeah, I think originally, though, that they started out at a more spiritual way of life, and then they got corrupted into doing blood sacrifices.
There was one section I read in one of their stories that they killed 84,400 people. It didn't say slaves. It didn't say anything like that. People in 4 days.
Who was counting?
Well, that someone did, and
they had a census taker.
Well, again, one of these things. I think that this is, literal bullshit, but there's got to be some truth to it. However, 4 days, a 4-day sacrifice. Excuse me, and but that's 219 an hour roughly. If you're going 24 hours around the clock, again,
all I'm saying is overtime.
Yeah, exactly, and that just seems to be the theme. They like to pump up the numbers on certain things, but I just thought it was noteworthy to show the half truths in many things, because I did feel the sacrifices. That number seemed completely outrageous to me.
Well, see, this was an altar on this picture. They have caves, and the cave was supposed to represent the jaguar and the serpent.
Bless you.
And there's a child that's supposedly transforming into a jaguar or a serpent. Now, was that a sacrifice transformation?
I don't know, but his football helmet's bigger.
It's bigger than Dennis's.
It's bigger than mine. Yeah.
Oh, can we ask this?
Is that an
I
ear?
don't know. Is that worthy of the cards?
Yeah. Can we ask? Does he have the? Do they have the same dome skull, like the
elongated skulls?
Elongated skulls, like in the pyramids.
Yeah, like the Egyptians.
Yeah.
Something happened with energy. I'm trying to remember how to speak English today. It's very difficult.
Good job. Who's evolved? Good job. Okay, you're getting there. You sound
I
great.
will
Slow it down.
You sound great. Let me tell you about my deception today. I have a nice dress shirt on here. Okay,
I see it. Very nice.
Below me is a pair of jeans that has hedge clippings all over me.
That's what you're allergic to, Jack.
I was doing hedges outside, so I'm putting on a facade. So if you see anything green in my hair, I didn't get to it.
It's a tie-dye.
What hair?
What hair?
Oh, listen, this will grow fast. You have no idea. It'll grow fast.
And also, for some reason, well, I'm wearing like a Mexican style shirt for today. No messages, but it is so. I feel so hot that I feel like I am in the Mayan. Must have. Thank you. I just feel like I'm in the Mayan area right now.
What do you got, Jen?
Say something, but I don't want to poke the bear.
Well, I want to just pull one card to see what they would do, and I got the off-worlder card. It's a star card.
Yeah.
I kept thinking Anunnaki skull, like it's elongated.
I'm thinking Syrian. Syrian?
Look at
I
this
think there's some artwork about the Mayan space travelers.
Yeah, he has an elongated.
That has elongated skull. Yeah.
Yep. Well, that's two, because that's the sun card, the star card. It's got an interesting calendar on it because it looks almost like the Mayan calendar.
Wow.
But it's confirmation that they were all the same.
Yeah.
Nice.
Wow.
I think Aztec, Mayan, and Inca were all related to each other.
Mm-hmm.
And I think Aztec have moved up into actually from Mexico into the United States.
There you go, right there.
Seven of Cups, all of the above. It's not a trickster card the way it's laid out. It's a good thing. There's dragon in there. There's all kinds of stuff. Yep. That means multiple choices. They were all species. They were all the same thing.
Mm-hmm. One of the things I tried to run down on this is the kind of the rise and fall, obviously with the blood sacrifices. But it seems like most of these places kind of disappeared in a sense. I was trying to find out. I was asking my rods and kind of going in on it. I didn't feel like any of these civilizations disappeared. It did seem that they faded away. I was looking for them to be taken, similar to Atlantis stop or something, and I couldn't get anything like that. I was trying to, because when you have a certain perception, you think, oh, I got to keep that out of my head, and I wasn't seeing anything like that.
Try off world.
I did not try off world.
Try off world.
I was my off world was on top of a deck that I'm building. That's unfortunately where a lot of my time
down
is.
in the holes that you've been digging.
Yes, the digs. Yes,
it's going through a different rabbit hole, Jay.
Yeah, I have 2/3 of the deck complete, and see, I have to build it in sections so we can use the pool if we get to use the pool. Mm-hmm. So that's why there's when I sent you pictures, it's like, why isn't he doing the other side of the deck? Because that's why. Yeah. But no, this is I do believe there are bodies to these. I do believe that.
Just like in why can't I think today? Yes. Moai. Yeah. Yep. Well, I could do confirmation to see if there are bodies underneath.
I would like to hear that. I would like to hear that there was at least bodies to them. Whether underneath or not, I think most of these have been moved.
Small bodies.
Yeah, I mean, there might be a pit bull body behind them, but I do believe that
the Mayan Sphinx.
Yeah, most of these heads were moved, from what I could tell. And this was a while ago. I did these guys, but they seem to have been moved. There's only one or two that are actually left in its original spot, from what I can remember.
I'm trying to see how many there were.
But they're not supposed to be stationed at the top of the pyramid. Huh?
Well, here's the funny. It's 5 feet. Some are 5 feet tall. Some are 11 feet. It ranges between 5 and 11. Mm-hmm. But the heaviest one is about 25 to 30 tons.
Mm-hmm. But like these ones here, I think there's. Well, I came across 5 of these that seems completely different, and they're this exact person.
Yeah.
5.
Mhm.
I mean, there are 5 completely separate
Okay.
stones.
They did find 17 heads. That's what it
Right.
was. 17.
5 of those are that guy.
So
there's something with
apparently,
him.
I don't know. I keep getting that they represented a king or a god. Well, here's my Rocco card because he's the one that asked questions.
Different Momo.
And his Mumu.
Mm-hmm.
But I'm getting that they moved. The bodies of the heads were separated from the body because this is a movement card.
That's so they don't live again.
They were
Yeah, and I'm
decapitated.
getting it around wartime because that's a night.
Yeah, if they separate the head and the body. Wow. Wow.
Yeah, and then the
There's a
final
lot.
card on that is the moon card, which so what you're seeing is not the full picture, basically.
Right. And there's so much symbolism in that, not just removing the head, but god of, okay, let's say it's a god of war. Do you attach the head to the body, and there's so many ways you can go, vice versa. We look at it as removing the head, but was that a protector? Was it a protector god? You have to, almost like the Egyptian capstone, putting the capstone on.
Ace of Cups, yes.
What was the question for the yes?
If it was a protector god.
Oh.
So if you reunited that head with that body, technically your protector's back.
Yep.
Well, can we
Well,
jump?
won't be protecting anything, no. Nobody's there anymore.
Well, that makes me bring a question to the other rabbit hole I fell into.
Uh-oh.
Yeah, I really fell up actually.
We have enough rope to bring you back up.
Yeah, the Cachoeia
Yeah.
mounds.
Bless you.
Thank you. It was a hard one. It was a hard one.
I tell you, everywhere
really
I turned, the more I dug, and I said, why do I keep picking shows where I can't pronounce anything?
I want to do Teotihuacan just because I can pronounce it.
Oh, okay.
Teotihuacan, that's all.
It has nothing to do, but no. But
I can pronounce
there's
Tutankhamun.
mounds. Tutankhamun. What did you have in common? Anyway,
A toot.
Mm-hmm.
a toot. You had a toot.
Don't.
Well, that's
I don't need that. Right
anyway. They had mounds in Indiana, mounds in Mississippi,
Ohio.
mounds in Wisconsin. Now, could those be the bodies without the head?
You talking about the serpents?
No, there's other mounds, just mounds.
Oh, okay. No, I know Ohio's serpent mound. There is a serpent mound in Wisconsin.
There
I'm
are
not trying to change the subject.
pyramids.
There's 1,000 what?
Pyramids in the
Pyramids,
U.S. alone.
Yeah, Mexico's
But they also
over
have
10,000.
these mounds. They're called giant skeleton mounds.
I have a question
Yeah.
for Jen,
Mm-hmm.
and I would like to pull this. Okay, Dennis has shared has been a number of past lives in sequence, if you will. No, I'm being dead serious. I'm seeing
where you're going.
Was Dennis part of the Aztec, Olmec, or Mayan?
Mm-hmm.
Did he live a life within that civilization, those civilizations?
If he
I'm curious.
did, it would explain why I'm so dang tired.
Well, yes.
Yeah, I see you. Okay, let me.
If he would just remember these lives, he could teach these classes here.
Well,
telling you,
you
so I wish you
know,
could
I
remember.
asked for that, and I've been told I will get that. So we
Well,
should
I'm
have to
hoping.
wait and see.
I'm putting a bet that he was an Incan shaman.
Shaman, I can go with.
Wow.
I probably bet my money on it.
Oh, there,
That's the emperor. Yeah, big leader in it.
big leader.
Wow.
Because here's the truth. Dennis has been a number of instrumental people in periods, if you will. And I mean, he just doesn't pull this shit out of the air. I mean, there's confirmation, everything like this.
Yeah,
And I fully believe this.
If
At
you
least
start out with the
three.
emperor, emperor means great leader. It almost looks like a Mayan calendar behind it too.
Uh-huh.
And then the old wise one. Look at the serpent at the bottom too. Everything tells a story. The hermit represents, well, it's not always being about by yourself. It just means intelligence. You as a smart man.
But the other thing that I'm getting at with Dennis is, it seems to be that he was generally, if he was a particular person in a given lifetime, it seems to be the predecessor of most. Do you know what I mean? In other words, it's going to be one of the earliest or influential portions of it. Again, I just, because I'm doing this, right, and I'm thinking, Dennis, you know,
Well, I
I'm
find it
seriously.
fascinating because the hermit to me represents my Abba, my God. So it's also a God card. And then I pulled a third major arcana card, and that is the sun. These are definite yeses.
Mm-hmm.
So a very powerful, powerful leader.
He just couldn't stay at being the first guy. You know, he just had to keep going. You know, big shoes to fill. That's all I'm saying.
I go where I'm told I'm supposed to go, you know, and I'm walk-ins also. So
in his hands, he's got the whole world.
Well, apparently
I'm
you were
still
a nice
dragging or still pulling you all up, you know.
Say that again, Jen.
I said apparently he was a nice leader. This is a humanitarian, giving and receiving to the people. He was nice.
That's true with all of them.
7 of Wands, standing up for the people, standing his ground. Wow.
It's probably my head for a statue out there.
Yeah, but you got dethroned.
Well, yeah, I probably got decapitated too.
That's your big head, Dennis. All right, so I think that the Olmec.
Actually, I have been decapitated in a past life, so.
Yeah.
All right, let's see.
So we can go now to the Mayans because that was the next one on Olmec went to Mayan, and it's funny that they said that the Mayans started in Guatemala.
Yeah.
Then moved up.
Yeah.
But wasn't there? I mean, I got the sense of uniting going through that with the Mayans. I didn't get a sense of did some had to be conquered? Yes. But it really did seem about uniting, and then it went downhill from there. It seemed like, from an energy standpoint, if you will, just like and even when you go to the Aztecs, there's another same. It seems to be a same thing. There's a uniting, and then
conflict.
Yeah, bullshit, drama, Karen, whatever you want to call it, and then, you know, that's what we got to find out. What's a good name for Karen in ancient Aramaic? I want to look that up. I got to remember that. But do you know what I mean? It really did seem like the start of this. These seems to be uniting, and you can't find a whole lot on it. It's just the energy.
Yep.
Yeah, were some conquered? Yes, but most seem to be a willing faction, if you will.
Right.
Well, the thing that they carried from Guatemala when supposedly it was discovered and built their pyramid, they had science like the Greeks. They had roads like the Romans and pyramids like the Egyptians. So they had all of that with them when they came to this. Now, you mentioned yesterday, Jen, or last night, that was it all were all the continents still in one spot?
Well, that would make sense because
when
before the continental drifts?
Yeah, before the drift.
I mean, when was the drift?
I don't know, what, 10,000? Well, it's before that.
I don't think I was there.
You might have been.
You were, Dennis. When did it happen?
Yeah, well, yeah.
It was between the two.
It was before the pharaohs came.
I think that big head sneezed, and that's all I'm saying.
You just cleared your space. There you go, Jay. Jay, do you know when the continental drift happened?
Oh, I didn't know there was going to be a test.
In
the Bible, it was 1, 2, 3, 4 generations after and 2 before Noah, I believe. Wasn't there one of them was mentioned that was alive during the continents were still together at that time? I can't think of it. I want no, it wasn't Enoch. It was another one. It's an obscure name. Yeah.
Well,
No. Anyway, no, I can't think of the year right now.
Well, the reason why I asked is the Mayans had all of the knowledge from the Greeks, Romans, and Egyptians. Do you think that whatever transferred to Guatemala, it was before the continental drift?
Jay, are you thinking of
Yeah, I would think so.
Say it again.
Methuselah? Is that who you're talking about? Which would be Noah's grandfather?
What about me?
I don't think it was.
You were Noah. You can't be your grandfather too.
Let me look it up. Give me a second. I'll find it. That doesn't sound right though. Methuselah was the oldest, correct?
Yes.
Wasn't he the one that lived the
Yeah.
longest? Okay.
Yes, I was.
He was.
Yeah. Now you want to be cocky because you can remember something.
No, actually, I was. I was Methuselah.
Well, they're still all connected. I mean, even it's kind of a very obscure map.
All
but
we know is that it was all connected at one time, and a lot of America has all the different countries in it.
That's what they say.
Yeah.
Well, I did find out one of the rulers and one of the leaders they had, and his name was Tupac.
Nice.
That would explain it.
Reincarnated.
Yeah.
That's a
He had to go
possibility,
back.
actually.
He's a time traveler. He had to go back.
Let's see. What else?
You know what? I believe that. I really do.
Peleg. Peleg was the name.
Peleg.
During the time of Peleg, the earth was divided.
Peg leg?
I thought he said peg leg, or as he was a pirate.
That's what I thought.
Peleg.
Pele. Is that like Pilates?
See, that's why they took you down. Okay, they didn't like that sense of humor. They're like, all right, I had enough of his.
Because he had a
His
peg
wit.
Jokes. No.
If he had a peg leg, they took him down.
So this
Instead
kind of hard.
of having a leg up, they gave me a leg down.
That has opened the first IHOP.
Yeah.
So this is a map of Guatemala, and it kind of gives you an idea of where the temples were or how they travel. I was laughing because one of them is called Tabasco.
Ooh.
Really?
Yeah.
Now, did they? Here, the one thing I didn't. Okay, one thing I couldn't see what they called these pyramids. In other words, like, what did the Aztec call? I mean, I get the name, but did they call these things temples? Did they call
Temples,
them,
though, aren't they called temples?
Right, but what was it in their language? I was trying to see something like, in other words, what did that? What? Okay, it was a place of worship. But like a church to us is a church. A synagogue is a synagogue. What did they call these places? And I went down that. I go down stupid shit like that. I do. I couldn't find anything on that because I thought there might be some meaning within that word, or to kind of tie them all together. I was just kind of looking for common space, if you will.
I can barely speak English, let alone someone else's language.
Well, as you notice, I'm having difficulties today.
Yeah.
Oh, by the way, here this is actual size. By the way, no, I'm kidding.
Nice, it's very nice.
Oh, okay.
Oh, and just a quick plug. Dennis's book is
Yes.
you can order it. I just wanted to mention that. He's a little shy about it, but his book I have ordered it. I haven't received it yet. But it's not. Is it official, Dennis? That it's shipping official now?
Yeah, just shipping.
Okay.
Mine should be coming today. I went to Barnes and Noble's And they said it takes 3 to 5 days. You have to order it first, and then they will
Really?
call you when it comes in, because it's print production to the when people order it.
Huh.
Is it print on demand?
Print on demand.
Wow. Okay.
But I ordered it. I wanted to go to a local store,
Yeah.
but I ended up having to go to Amazon, and it should have been here yesterday, but it didn't show up. I was going to be like, I got the book, but I have it. I'm getting it.
I just
I
wanted
know
to throw
the
that little
first
plug in
one's
there.
out. First one's out in all the stores, but you don't have to order those. But
Well, in Chicago, it's on print to order or order to print. Okay, so based on a tree. All right, it's something like Huna Ki. Many manifestations, they practiced manifestations. They were based on the tree being the crown, the height in the heavens, and the root being deep in the underworld. So they practiced the underworld, and they honored both gods of both worlds.
Yeah.
They said it's not going to hurt, so let's do both. So a lot of those sacrifices went to the underworld because they wanted to give them a message to the underworld. So I guess that's where "don't kill the messenger" probably came from. I'm not sure.
Maybe. Possible.
Yeah, but they would send them with a message and then sacrifice them so they can get their answer.
So this is the very, very top of one of the temples. And when I looked at it, I get the feeling that that is where the sacrifice happened.
Really? Well, is that where, in Peru or in Mayan or Aztec? Do you know?
It's Mayan.
yeah.
This is one of the shorter ones. This isn't really that tall.
Yeah.
And did we
I
not
see
find
the
it
subjects
odd?
are all lined up there.
Maybe it's me. Okay. I thought it was odd. It seemed like that the quote sacrifices were always done above, if you will, not necessarily a higher place, if you will, like this. I just didn't understand that aspect of,
Oh.
Bringing the sacrifice up higher, especially if it was a captured opponent, and maybe not necessarily what they would consider a worthy sacrifice, just a sacrifice. That brings into Nadia's maybe ideologue of that good and evil, or above and below. Were certain ones sacrificed at a lower point? I mean, I understand about being high in the sacrifice. It just seemed weird to me that sacrificing someone that you didn't think was worthy was, to me, almost like peddling bullshit.
Well, maybe it was court session
sure.
and they were taken there
Bless you.
for judgment to stand in front of all the people.
Yeah, that could have been the judgment, but they were also sacrifices of their own people. Basically, girls, they made a, what is that word I want to say? Cenote. And the cenote was like a well that they would
Right.
actually give them a message and throw the women in the cenote.
Wow.
Hey Jay, if this name resonates with you guys, Palenque.
That was Dennis.
Palenque, Dennis.
That was Dennis.
Palenque is the ceremonial
Excuse
center.
me.
Ceremonial platform?
Ceremonial center. of the-
Center.
So is that the Palenque, the tallest sacrificial place? You wanted to know maybe what their word would be.
Yeah.
Well, isn't that that's a place, isn't it?
Yeah.
Could be.
If
Like
I
it is a
remember
place.
correctly.
They named it a palace ceremonial center. That's what I got on one of my digs.
I'm not sure.
Okay.
Well,
Just
Yeah,
when you first said it, I thought we were going to do Prices Right Plinko, but you know, they have to get up really high to drop that little disc down.
They do.
that's what they did with the body.
Yeah.
You got 100. Okay. What else? They had also stones of hieroglyphic. Hieroglyphic 3 stone tablets. I don't know. How about if we ask, is this on a vortex?
Vortex or ley lines?
Well,
It'll be on ley lines.
vortex, because what I'm thinking, like you said, Jay, and this is like running from. It seems like everything that we're studying is getting meshed together. So, if we look at what happened in Petra, did some of the people ascend here, and the other people just took off and started building their other areas?
You know, a weird thing. You just kind of mentioned that. It was last week. There was a Star Trek episode a while back. It was one of the movies that Whoopi Goldberg was in.
Next Generation.
Yeah, well, no, it was a movie, but there was this thing that this guy kept trying to get to. These people lived in this vortex, and it was traveling through space, and he was doing everything that he could to get in his power to get back into this vortex where he was from. And that kind of popped into my head with all these portals, in other words, like are some coming through these astrological waves?
Like a Stargate?
Yeah, almost like a Stargate. And they're here for a certain time and then gone, and then they're moving on.
Well, I do know the Mayans have, they're off-worlders. Now, whether or not they were first off-world, I think they were first off-worlders, and they came here for a time and then left again. But they're out there they've got like asteroids that they're using as ships.
Okay.
I think.
I got to be honest with you. You're really creeping me out because your mouth is moving and your words are nowhere not around your mouth. It's like a slow motion kung fu movie. And here I was doing this and that. Honest to goodness.
You know what? And I'm getting the same thing from you, but you're not creeping me out.
Okay. Oh, I'm okay being creeped out.
So I pulled 3 cards asking if it was sort of like a vortex, but they showed me something interesting. Like when they do these sacrifices, or you said throw somebody down a well. Isn't that what you said?
Yeah, the cenote, yeah.
So when they did this to the youngins, because they did it to kids a lot too.
Yeah.
Now, see the tower crashing down, like throwing a body. When they did, but that's an ascension card.
How does that work? Is it for someone to ascend or for the sacrifice to ascend?
That's what I'm going to keep pulling cards.
Okay.
Did the king or whoever's a ruler believe that he would ascend through these sacrifices? I'm just curious.
The rulers and leaders, because that's a queen, and then this is the hangman. That means their enlightenment. It would help them be enlightened.
Okay.
That's what it is, or that the off-worlders took off and they figured if they sacrifice, they'll come back. Like an offering to them.
Ace of Pentacles, yes.
Mm-hmm. So, all right, let me ask you something on this one then. Maybe this is a card.
Make an offering, yeah. If they've made an offering, because that's giving and receiving. Yeah, absolutely.
Okay, was there, can I ask, it seems weird, was the sacrifice taught to them? In other words, would the off-worlders or whoever want the sacrifice, or is this man-made?
Okay.
I'm curious about that because,
like, if it was the Anunnakis, did they come down and teach the Mayans how to do this?
Yeah. Or what? In other words, was this the greater celestial, or this was a man thing that, hey, we're going to make sacrifices? Because that kind of stumps me a lot. I just don't understand it.
Well, if they all keep worshiping this sun god, moon god, whatever, but where do they learn who their god
I mean,
is?
it's just the evil aspect of it. The blood. Where did this come from besides Dracula? But I'm just saying, there just seems to be something so who made this shit up, or were they shown to it? Do you know what I mean?
Well, here, if you're going to say that they all worship the heavens and the underworld, would the underworlds be another off-worlder, say what we're dealing with in this lifetime?
Yeah.
And so now they're worshiping the enlightened, but they're also worshiping, give me more bodies, give me more blood. Both worlds.
Yeah.
Is it me or are my eyes about this big?
Me too. I feel.
Yeah.
Well, you're packing.
Squinting. Stop squinting.
I feel like I squint all the time. My eyes are usually big, but it seems like.
So I'm getting that this is an invasion war kind of thing, because I keep getting that the Mayans did just fine by themselves. Like they were happy. And when a baby page comes in, it's about starting something new and being determined to do something. But this is about coming together as family. They were fine, and then I get the Wheel of Fortune, and their whole world flipped upside down. And they started fighting with somebody, because that's inner conflict and causing problems, and this is slavery.
I wonder if they were doing these sacrifices after the conquistadors came.
That's a possibility.
That's a possibility.
I'm just trying to figure out who made this shit up. Do you know what I mean? Because it seems to be a recurring theme. The rise and fall, rise and fall, rise and fall, and it's repeatable. It's predictable, but yet I still don't understand. I'm trying to see the bigger picture of why. Where did this come from? It is celestial. Why would a god want you to sacrifice one of his creatures to him? Yeah.
Right. Well, this is the Empress, and she can represent higher authority. She's higher than the kings and queens, so this can be celestial as well.
Yeah.
Okay.
Well, the funny thing is,
teach them balance. This would bring them balance or something. They're balancing something in their life, so they were taught that. So yes, somebody higher than them taught them this. But I don't think that they wanted to do it.
Well, the funny thing is they did a lot of studying on Venus. That's who, and through Venus, they saw the fall of Palenque, and Venus represented love, which is ascension. So could there have been an infiltration, like you said, the Spanish conquistadors, and did they have genetically modified smallpox to end it all? And that's why they fled, because of the smallpox.
Excuse me.
Possibly.
Be right back.
Yeah, a lot of them did die of European diseases. Interesting. I get the Thief card. So I think that they were deliberately brought illness there. Yeah. To totally destroy, because that's the Three of Swords. That's heartache, destruction, sadness, disappointment. Wow. To deliberately take it away from them. And that's why they left, because that's leaving the past behind them. That's crazy.
What I also got was there's another pyramid, a rectangle or a square pyramid that and there's a statue on the top of it, Jen. I think I gave you that picture. I'll wait till you're done. Go ahead. I don't know if you were done.
No, I was just going to get the cards. I pulled one last one. That's Temperance. She's also about balance, but it takes a long time because it's patience as well. It took a while for the destruction. It just didn't happen overnight. It wasn't some big cataclysmic, you know what I'm talking about, like Atlantis sinking or something like that. It wasn't like that. Because eventually it was about deforestation. They lost, basically their environment fell apart. They outsourced their own land, plus diseases.
Well, like I said, then one of those pyramids was
Which one did you want?
There's a altar on the top for offerings to a human heart. It's actually a person, I think, holding the platter.
Let me see.
It wasn't me.
Now he's Shaggy. It wasn't me.
Find it.
Wasn't me. Yeah, well, it had the serpent, and it had him sitting with their hands so they can offer the human hearts of their sacrificed people, and it was faced in the direction of the west, which is direction of for them direction of death, darkness, and the color black. And I that caught my eye, and I'm going, wow, what is
I've got the one. Told you I had a lot of pictures pulled up here. Let's see.
You know, that's pretty interesting because on the Native American medicine wheel, west is black, representing fall.
Yeah.
See, I keep pulling. Hold on. Let me see if.
I think west also represents the jaguar, which is the shadow work, the shadow.
The shadow knows.
Creepy.
Yeah, I mean, yeah, I saw the pictures, and they have pretty damn big heads, and that's sculptures from stones.
Those are Oriental looking eyes or Asian eyes.
I was getting ready to say that. Yeah.
Yeah. That looks like an old man's head on a baby.
Buddha when he was young.
I don't want to give birth to that.
Gotta see the baby. Come see the baby.
He's the cutest little thing.
That baby ate well.
Boy, and how?
He's so big he fits into his helmet.
Now the one down on the bottom that's got a broken leg.
Oh,
It looks like, well, because we kept talking about helmets, but if you look at it, it almost looks like the outline or the design of the brain.
Oh, that's wild. I can't see it because of
ooh,
my screen.
Yeah, you're
but
right.
yeah, that really does have something there, Jen. Wow. I apologize. I got the potty dance from one of the dogs. So
That's okay. Yeah, I just noticed at first I thought, well, that's just a helmet. But then I started looking at the design, and it almost looks like a brain.
yeah, can you send that to me, Jen? When you know,
Sure.
at some point,
Can't really tell unless you blow it up.
yeah, I can't do that on my computer here.
Yeah, there's some kind of design on it. Yeah, I'll email this to you or text it to you. That's
I can I have it, so I'll send it
That
to you.
that reminds me a lot of the Indian temples, the Hindu temples. I mean, there's sculptures of vascular system. There's sculptures of another, like, for instance, this one recently I came across. They had one of the statues had gotten broken, and inside the statue was intestines, like sculpted.
Yes, I saw that.
You
I
see
saw
that?
that.
Yeah,
Yeah.
that was like
Jen,
that
it
was like
right
mind blowing to me.
Jen, it was right after the maps of the Mexican Guatemala and Chichen Itza. It's right after that I sent it to you.
I can see
Okay.
Chichen Itza too.
You
That's
could say
another one.
Chichen Itza.
Yeah, I mean, I just want to stick with things that we can say,
Try
pronounce.
spelling
Thank you.
it. Let's see.
Chichi.
Chichen Itza.
Chichi.
let me see here.
It has a serpent head, and then up at the top of the pyramid, they have two serpents, and then they have this person laying, like, "Welcome, people. Give me your hearts."
What do you want, Jen?
I don't know why I cannot find this. I'm looking at my pictures and I cannot find it.
Okay, well, maybe it's not meant to be. If you want, I could resend it to you on Messenger, but I don't think you can do that. I sent it to you, Jay.
Okay, got it. Thank you.
Let's see.
Well, this is annoying.
How about this? Ready? Here we go. This is my technology. That one.
Oh,
Is that on the cover of
I
Playgirl?
remember seeing that. I don't remember if I downloaded that one or not.
It's a centerfold picture.
Birthing? Is that birthing?
No, it has a little plate right in front of him.
And that's where they like sacrificed something?
No, that's where they put the heart.
Oh, okay.
All right. It's like the
You
Temple
sure
of
that's
Doom all
not an
over again.
iPad?
That's where, yeah, that's the enlightened teenagers. See the serpents?
Yeah.
Yeah.
So, and that was facing east. Okay, Dennis, that's their tablet of the iPad.
Oh,
No.
there. Yeah. See, there you
See
go.
that?
I got to find the charger for that. Yeah.
If I didn't realize that they were serpents, they almost look like giant hippopotamus mouths.
Well, here, I got another view. I don't know, guys, on the live chat if you're able to see this, but that.
Yeah.
Serpent.
It's Godzilla.
Yeah. Well, they weren't as talented as the baby body heads. Yeah.
Okay, I'm going to bring this scale up, and this tells us about the Mayan time frame.
Okay.
Well, obviously one of their main symbols was serpent, because if you pay attention to that one there, they're everywhere in these carvings.
Yeah.
Now, I find it fascinating that some of these temples or pyramids, whatever you want to call them, some people can climb and go into, and some are off limits.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. I've been to Tulum, so I went halfway up. It didn't look safe and sturdy to me.
Well, I was going to ask, I wonder if it's because of safety concerns?
Well, the one in...
or are they trying to hide something?
No, there is one that they're deteriorating, just like we mentioned when the pyramids. These things are to bring balance or energy, and yet they don't want to fix it. They want it to fall down. Why? And these are in the poorest part of cities.
Well, just like we studied the Egyptian pyramids, if there's more to it and those capstones can move, and that has something to do with energy or force, frequency or something, I wonder if the same thing can happen with these. I don't think that they have a real capstone on them, though.
Well, I'm going to try my Spanish on the one that's 700 to 701. What I'm saying, it says it went under in the year 700. Fundada. It went under.
Bless you.
Yeah. It's allergies, Jay. Yeah, they don't really maintain it. They want it to be destroyed, and why is that?
Well, that's a good question. But I think I might ask the cards that.
Okay.
Because I want to know if they're hiding something.
I have a question along those lines when you pull your question, Jen.
Okay.
It's so funny that when I'm going through these observations, I always have question marks. It's like the more you're looking, the deeper you're looking, the more questions you have.
Mm-hmm.
You know, all the stuff that the Mayans used to write down everything on their tablets or anything that had like hieroglyphs and stuff. And then we were told that everything was destroyed after the Spanish came and took over. They destroyed everything. You can't tell me that something's not still there. Are there hieroglyphs inside these temples and they were not allowed to see them?
What if they're in the Vatican?
Well, true.
That is a very good possibility.
Well, everything like the Library of Alexandria.
Well, since the Vatican runs deep,
Well,
many chambers below it.
Well, the Incas, the distance from the Incas from the top to the bottom, in one of the the things I found out was they measured it from the Giza to the Vatican. And I'm going, why would you even use that as a measurement?
Wow. I'm going to use the term, these rat bastards.
Yep. Go ahead, Jay. Sponsored by Rat Bastards.
Hang on.
Because I said, why are they trying to keep this from us? And the thief card came up first, to steal truth.
Yep.
They do not want, if they just let it go away, you won't ask questions.
I think people will be very surprised when they find out just how much stuff has been hidden.
Yep. I think there may be something to these temples, because this is my portal card. I think that there may be some energy in these temples, and that's why they just destroy it, so they don't have this. It would take a lot of study and work. There's your worker bee studier. But we are going to get to do it, because this is about strategy, getting the truth back strategically and studying it. I think we will learn eventually that there's more to it.
Yeah.
That's along the lines of what my question is.
And the strength card behind it. So there's a lot of information we're going to be finding out.
Yep.
Yeah, is our interpretation of their quote language accurate? Because I mean, if you go, on some of the temples they have the codex, they call them. Is our interpretation of their language accurate?
Well, it wouldn't be the first time something got lost in translation.
Right. I mean, let's face it. There's a picture of a bull in a box, and they're saying, "Oh, it means going shopping." Again, how would we know? And part of deception. If it's not accurate, is it part of a deception?
It is. This judgment card. Look here, not there. I don't think that we're getting it right, because this is to draw attention away from.
Mm.
Yeah, Knight of Swords. This is about truth and words, and moving and charging away from it, being taken away and more. Wow. Nine of Swords. This is all about words. That means causing anxiety. I don't think that we're supposed to translate it, or they haven't allowed us to translate it the correct way, because it might cause anxiety. Might upset. Oh, well, here's another reason we may not know, because it's really off-worlder stuff.
See, that makes more sense to me. That makes more sense to me.
Yeah, I believe that it's off-worlder, and wow, this card came back in. We're going to have to study it, though. But how are we going to do that if we don't talk to our off-worlders? They're going to come back and translate it. So
exactly.
Well,
but unless they do have a translation of it somewhere, like in the bottom of the Vatican.
Mm-hmm.
Well, how about if it's not really translation in words, but translations in frequency?
True.
Right, exactly. See, one of the hard thing for me on this whole journey was anytime we got towards the sacrifices, the energy was all wrong. It was very ugly, not even just ugly.
I agree.
It was selfish, but yet evil. But it was so
outside the norm.
It was about self. It was horrible.
Yeah.
I really had a hard time with that energy. And there was points that I had to stop. I really did, because it was like, ooh, I couldn't.
It was
couldn't handle it.
Different frequency from Petra. I'll tell you that.
Yes. Yeah. This, and it was that roller coaster of that up and down, of that pattern of, is it man or whatever? But you could just see it, rising the sacrifice down, rising the sacrifice down, rising the sacrifice down. It was a repeating cycle.
This picture is just a Mayan pyramid compared to Giza's. I just thought it was fascinating because when you talk about height, one of them, I did go into some of them are, I think the tallest one is 246 feet.
79 feet.
79 feet and then 98 feet. There's just different heights. But I was trying to remember how tall the one was in Giza, and then I just realized I think it's on this.
Yeah, it's 480, it says.
Okay, just gotta think on that one. Did the heights have anything to do with their representation? In other words,
Size matters.
yeah. I wasn't.
No,
I
it's just
wasn't
the way
going
you
there.
use it.
I wasn't going there, but I mean, like
Okay.
when that popped in, my brain just went. There's something to do with the size for the activity, or sorry, my brain's mush, but there has something to do with the size of what was being performed at those particular sites. The size, unfortunately, did matter.
Well, what if all these pyramids go to a ley line that meets up with the bigger pyramid as a hub?
Or like we had said before, did the thing on the pyramid, did that stop energy? Like we had mentioned that before. In other words, even though it's on a ley line, it was there to restrict and stop
You mean
energy.
the capstone?
No. Like in other words, sometimes like the energy, the ley lines can be on particular points,
Right.
but also even though the ley lines are an energy grid, there could be things put on the energy grid to restrict the energy, like to stop it or tone
taking
it
the
down.
capstones off.
Yeah.
Of the original capstones off.
Right.
Would lower the frequency.
Right. That's what I'm saying, that they could even do it as like I said, as a okay, when you plug in your cell phone,
Right.
okay, into that plug is already a reducer on the amps and the voltage going into your phone. So in other words, slow it down, stop it. What do you think on that, Jen?
Well, first let me show this on if size matters, the height. I think the height of each one depends on your stature. Like, because I have a queen, so she is a high position. And then there's lower levels for just regular everyday families, but I also have military or workers. I think this has to do with where your stature is
in society or something
in
like
society.
that. Okay.
And now we have a chess game.
Queen, the queen's level 3.
Checkmate.
Wow. Okay, temperance comes in here, and that's about balance of spirituality as well. So maybe more, if your higher statue isn't like an ascended master, you would have a higher temple or something like that, or higher position on it.
Okay.
Of where they stood at the temple on the stairs. Everybody pick a stair, any stair. But I think this has to do with stature. Wow. And some people are not allowed them in that at all.
So there's a pecking order in most.
Yep.
Okay.
Is that funny? The pecking order of enlightenment by the off-worlders? Or by others?
Could be both, really. I mean, if you think about an off-worlder, how would they look at us? Would they look at us as a life form of equal stature? You know what I mean? Even though it's intellectual or whatever, but spiritual is totally different. But how would they perceive us? How do we
like
perceive
morons?
them? Right. We're they're obviously more advanced, but yet we're out in the quote, so supposedly in the universe looking for microbes.
Morons, pawns, maybe pawns.
Yeah. But again.
But I believe that they're also fascinated with the fact that we have the ability to interact more with our emotional side.
Oh, 100% agree. I think that's our ace in the hole, actually, because we just don't know it and we're restricted from it. Yeah. Those of us who haven't grown out and tried to become what we're becoming.
Yeah.
And we're blessed to be able to do certain things like that. That's
another reason why
really
I think they want to change our
more creative I think that's what they're in awe about is how the humans are more creative in doing things.
Could be.
All right. You guys are about to go to sleep.
Oh no. No.
No, I'm okay.
I don't think so. I still got another 15 hours left.
Easy.
What? Crazy.
Oh, and
Years.
I can't see it, but I'm getting a very sizable another universe under my skin this week. It's like, okay. All
I
these
get 'em right
energies,
between my eyes.
it's like acne's breaking out of me.
It's the energy.
Constant,
The
yeah. It's
energy. But
constant.
we keep moving. We're good.
glad I don't have a 4G camera. That's all I'm saying.
I'm going to bring
Not
up a picture of actual Mayan calendars. I know it's behind Dennis's head, but
No, that's not a Mayan calendar. That's just artwork.
Well, let's see what they have. Turtles. Nice
Turtles.
artwork.
It's a turtle, like Turtle Island,
Yeah.
but it's got two heads. He doesn't know if it wants to go north or south.
so somebody made this out of wood.
I cannot see this. Whatever.
I
it
am
is.
trying to figure out. Well, I have a better picture in a minute that it
I
blows
see
up.
there's
the
a
symbols.
number sequence of some
There's
sort.
the number.
and
Yeah. Yeah.
Codex around the outside. Okay.
So the pictures on the outside
Mayan.
are the months, as far as I understand.
Then the day. How many days are there? 1, 2, 3, 4. Okay, a line represents a 5, 6, 10.
It's almost
there-
like Morse code.
Is there 30? Or it looks like 1, 2, 3, 34?
Well, didn't we always agree? I thought there were 13 months and they all had 28 days.
Yes.
Well, okay, so on the outside,
Our thought process.
is that months? Is there
Those are
30?
months. Yes.
Because I'm trying to figure out 31,
Well,
32,
that's more than 13.
34. There's 34 days, and then there's something else, which is 0. Wow.
19.
Okay. The
No,
one in the
19.
middle, it looks like the one in the center. It's 28, and that's the 28 days.
I can't see it. I'm sorry.
That's okay.
I mean, not. I'm just saying I can't see what you're saying.
Yeah, no, there's a
visually.
circle with a line, which is the time, and then there's that represents 1, 2 dots, 2, 3, 4, and then the line is 5. 5, 10. Okay, I'm lost.
Well, I think
Bingo.
the very center of it,
30.
That's better up. 23. We have 24, 25.
the circle with the line reminds me of a sundial to keep track of the minutes or the hours of the day.
24. There you go. That's 24 in the middle.
Circle in the middle with the line almost at a 4 o'clock position is okay. That thing, is that what we're talking about?
Yeah.
Does
And
that move?
Yeah, isn't that funny?
Does it move is what I'm asking. Does that click to a given whatever those little slash marks and numbers are, or fives?
I think
But
each
is that
circle
represent-
is a section that moves.
Okay, so
Okay,
that's-
right. I that's what I'm
So
saying.
it
But the
rotates.
line is the line pointing to something other than that quote number, or does that represent something else? I mean, we're seeing this, and this. Is that where's the year in this? We're seeing months, we're seeing days, and then on the outside there's another thing about days or numbers.
for years. Yeah.
Yeah, so, it's hard for me to see it. If you could send that to me,
Sure.
Nadia, you don't have to do it right now, but I'd be curious to see how that works, because their calendars did work off of like a cog, like round and perpetual, if you will. So I'd like to. I've never seen that before. I'd like to see that later and find that interesting.
And then there's this one.
That's
Right.
That was a Mayan abacus.
Right. That's the Dennis invented that too.
Oh,
Count all his blessings.
actually that was
Well, being the oldest man, I had to think of something.
Dennis invented the spirograph.
Yes, I love spirograph. I love that. That was one of my favorite things as a kid.
That's what
So
I was
It's
So
missing
we
a
could
piece.
probably assume that Dennis created the wheel.
Yeah, it was square at the time.
All right.
Then
It's-
we moved. Then we moved to.
I'm
Then we
sorry.
moved to
I'm calling the
to
wheel. I'm calling the
pyramids.
wheel. No, I'm calling the wheel.
You're calling it. Okay.
I think Dennis took it from me. I was this kid. I made this thing, and he was like, "Hey, look what I made."
You should have
Like,
got the patent.
Get out of
on
get
it.
out of here.
Yeah.
Get out of here, kid.
Dennis was Thomas
You snooze, you lose.
Dennis
Then
was Thomas
he
Edison.
did bring it out. He said, "I got the idea for my son." So, but anyway,
You didn't file
Claiming
it at the
something.
patent office. So.
yeah, but
So
that
these are
that'd be
months.
interesting.
That.
Are these months?
These are the months. These are symbols for the month.
Okay, we're 15. 19, what is it?
Wow.
19? 19 months?
Yeah.
Yeah, that's what I couldn't figure out.
Tree doesn't even look like a tree.
Oh, your tree's
That's
bigger
a
than
tree.
my tree.
Where's
Your
tree?
tree's bigger than mine.
Oh, that's how Chicagoans say the number 3.
Tree.
Tree. 1, 2,
Oh,
3.
it's Z. It's a Z. Chin.
Yeah,
Check.
it's hard for me to understand. I mean, of these symbols, like through the codex of what I've seen, that's why I'd asked about the language, and that's they kind of told me, are we even close on it? There seems to be
I'll
no
be right back.
representation or correlation with anything like they pulled this out of thin air. Oh, this is January. Again,
Well, I keep looking at it, and I'm wanting to know if some of these are representations of creatures that are not around anymore or off-worlders. Do they make them look like that one that's at the top, fourth one over, the Zotes?
yeah,
It looks like an elephant, but a really
Yeah.
pissed off elephant.
Yeah, like a prehistoric. It's a
did
mammoth.
it remind
Like
you
a
of
mammoth?
something you'd
Yeah.
see from in the Hindu religion?
And then you got the cool guy in the middle, Mac. Hey, Mac. He looks like an owl.
Oh,
The very last one
yeah.
reminds me of a crab.
Yeah, that's why I was thinking this is
Yeah.
astrology.
Well, that's like way down to the bottom of the right. That to me would be like a Pisces almost, like the
Yeah. That's
Mhm.
Scooby sides. It's very confusing to me. If I could put something in my head to understand the representation of it, then I could fully buy into it, truly. And it's not that I don't buy into it. It's just there's no rhyme or reason
Right.
as to why these are things, and then some of these things mean complete. Okay, it means a word, or it could mean a whole bunch of sentences. Again, context and perception, and I understand that there's an education of this, but at the same time,
Oh.
the complication of it,
Yeah.
it really is hard to understand.
Well,
Well,
the third one over on the bottom, I'm just looking at a donut with a mustache.
to me, it looks like an old phone.
Oh, yeah, I guess you could say that.
Okay, so
I like
if
it.
you're looking at these words, the X in a lot of the Hispanic words is she. So,
I can see it.
like the first one on the second row is shui, or
Bless you.
thanks again, this allergy stuff. But the one that you said looks like a fish is pash, which is fish. You were right on that one.
Okay. Well, that makes sense to me.
So is this their version of Zodiac?
That's what I'm thinking. But there's 19.
Okay, this is kind of a first for me. I've never noticed that, or at least seen that their zodiacs. It seemed like the zodiac was almost universal since ancient times.
Okay.
This is kind of blowing my
Which
mind.
are
as far as-
based on, well, they were really into astrology, so are they based on the constellations?
right. But what I'm saying is what are these guys seeing in the night sky that says, "Hey, oh no, it's 19."
I think they had really bad vision. They didn't have glasses.
Yeah.
Well, there was nothing that blocked it, but do you think we are in that one that you just said? We just finished the Piscean age, and that's the fish. So we got 3 more ages to go.
I thought we only had one more to go.
Well, if that's the fish, and the next one could be humanitarian, and there's 3 more to go.
Because we go into the age of Aquarius, isn't it?
Yes.
Which is the golden age.
Yeah. You know, they added
But their math doesn't add up. That's what I'm just saying. Or our math doesn't add up.
It's all new math.
It's Common Core.
It's Common Core. Okay.
We're almost
Yeah.
there.
Yeah, there we go.
Yeah.
Okie dokie.
Thanks for confusing us,
on.
Jen.
Yeah, that one. I'm sorry. I didn't go, I'm glad I'm didn't go down that rabbit hole. Thank you. Thanks for falling on the sword for that one for me.
Yep.
Because if I would have seen that, I would have been like, "This don't make sense." And I would have had enough. I would have stuck on it.
I thought they were fascinating, but confusing at the same time.
Please send. Thank you. I've never seen it before. I haven't. I've never seen that one.
Yeah, it is. It is the Hispanic abacus. Oh, and look at him sticking his tongue like he is having fun with us.
Is that Dennis there? With the hair? There you go.
The white beard. Yeah, that looks like it.
Real
That looks like
possible.
it.
Okay, are those ears or just earrings? I don't understand.
Earrings.
Earrings. Okay.
Earrings.
It's like those earrings that they have now. The plugs, I think they call.
Oh yeah. I know what you're talking about. Gauges. Yeah, gauges. Hard pass for me. Thanks.
Yeah, no thanks.
White
I've
blood.
seen some that I'm surprised they haven't tripped on them by now.
Yeah. Yeah. I don't even have a tattoo on me.
Me neither.
Okay, well, let me get out of this.
Dennis, don't even comment on the tattoos you had over your life.
No, don't have any.
Okay.
Not yet.
Well, lifetime. That's all I'm saying.
Yeah, if I had one for every life that I had on this planet, my body would be covered.
He'd be the illustrated man.
Yeah, I would be.
All right. Well,
Look at this.
I am not going to go too much further. I know you guys are tired.
No.
Not.
Well, I know Nadia
Don't keep
has
saying that I'm tired.
things
I'm
to
not
do.
Tired.
No,
I'm getting to mine as my body lets me.
I do have an imaginary deck I have to build, but yeah.
Do you?
Imaginary.
Imaginary deck. Listen,
It's
my
real. I've seen pictures.
okay. How can I say this on air? I can't.
Brought to you by.
Yeah.
Telepathy.
Well,
Oh, that's not cool.
yeah. I don't know. I can't. I'll text it to you.
I've lost it.
All right.
Well, let me ask you something. Okay. Now, I honestly didn't have as much time to devote this as I did with the Dome of the Rock. Although, if I would have found what you found, Jen, I would have been stuck for days on some of that shit. So I appreciate that. But one of the things I noticed, like I said, for me, the energy was uplifting with the Dome of the Rock. Petra, this energy really was harsh.
It has to do with
I mean,
the sacrifice part. I just couldn't. It's
there is more.
There was enlightenment, don't get me wrong, but it was just there was a brutality about it.
very much.
That's about the only way to describe it. Bless you. A real bless you.
Go ahead, Dennis. What was that?
It was fixed. History is fixated on the demonic
And the death culture. Yeah, and the death culture.
than it was, prior to that. I think prior to that, it was like 180 degrees different.
It seemed that they all started relatively for enlightenment or for betterment. That's what they all seem.
Would you have said that the Mayan was more vicious than the others, Aztec and Incas?
I honestly, I felt the Incas was a little rougher. I
I
really
think
did.
they were more aggressive than the Mayans were.
I mean, they as far as the energy went, it was more reactionary. It was kind of like today, like argue to argue. I'm just going to argue, just to argue. It was very reactionary.
It was amazing because the Incas, they had strategies of war that was amazing, and they used all natural materials. Like they had rocks on on ropes, and they threw it at their feet. Their
Well,
captains.
look at the mica. I mean, we only know of the arrowhead portions of the weapons. In other words, the mica that they used for that. Imagine what you could do with that. That's what cut open the sacrifices. But imagine, and I'm sorry that I'm sure we don't get it, but the torture that could be done with sharp instruments like that. You know, again, they didn't have the metallurgy in many respects to carve these stones. So what were they carving them with? And again, that the big head guy, whose representation in five different things is, his thing is almost identical, except for one. You could take all of those heads, shrink them down because they're all different sizes. I would say they are proportionally correct on each one of those statues, except for one. One had a little fuller. It was almost like looking up from the nasal in certain respect, but it was that same person. But that's what struck me, the symmetry of those different ones. You know, you can't do this with the tools that they have. I don't care if you can soften the rock. If you can soften the rock, great. Then you needed a mold because no one could carve that as perfect as those are.
Right.
Again, the technology that we don't
3D printer. They had one.
Yeah. But the technology that we don't understand, and how fast, and it's very symbolic of today with all the quote supposed technology we have, we're devolving. Yeah. You know, we're not enlightening where they want to dumb you down. Yeah. You know, I mean, that's just it.
But what I found out with the Incas is they were multicultural community. Mm-hmm. There was not just Incans. They were all of different races. That was interesting. Second, they made suspension bridges. Everything was natural. Terrace farming. So they knew how not to die of lack of food, like they said the Mayans did. Freeze-dried foods. Where's all this knowledge?
Right.
We're just starting to learn this again.
Right.
And being warriors, skilled warriors. It was a very highly evolved culture.
Right. And see, that's like me. I don't, like, for instance, if we go back to the days of the apostles and so on, I don't buy that they were stupid people. They spoke multiple languages. You were in business. You were in trading. You had to understand things. I don't buy that these people were dumb peasants. Even as we saw that they educated their children up to age 14 in, arguably it was 14 to 16, depending on which article you read. But the education to their children was important. And that's just it. Even though you were saying it was multicultural, it was, but I didn't see any adaptation from this culture to this culture. It was, we're the Mayans. But I agree with the multiculturalism. But at the same time, it was, you're going to do this the Mayan way. There wasn't no, we adopted this, like Genghis Khan you could keep your religions here. Go ahead. We don't care. Do what you want to do. In fact, like the Romans, they brought some of their cultures into other cultures into their own. The Mayans and this, it seemed like that religion that they had was, even though it was multicultural, this was the religion, take it or leave it, get. There was no shift in different gods or different aspects from what I could see. That was just me, maybe. A simple rabbit hole I went.
That there is a lot of similarities in the language that the Mayans spoke. There's certain words that are almost identical to the language they speak in India.
Really? I did not know that.
Like the term Kundalini. Mm-hmm. There's so many different, there may be like one little syllable difference, but their language is almost identical to what it is in India.
Well, that's because Kundalini came from Sanskrit, which was even
but they do share Sanskrit though. The Mayans and in India, they both do Sanskrit. I just found that fascinating.
If you're going to take me down rabbit holes, I don't want to go down.
It was a lot of rabbit
holes. If we spread enough carrots down those holes, we could have Jay going down any rabbit hole we want to.
Yeah, I like diving. I really do. I like diving.
We're hunting rabbits.
That gives me a little bit of hope because the energy was rough here for me. It really was.
Well, you want to see something creepy?
Sure, I love creepy.
Enlighten
No.
us, Jen. Whoa. Wow.
Okay, you want to hear
This
creepy?
is-
Is that a lunchbox?
This-
Okay, sorry.
That
I went-
ventriloquist?
Yeah, that's Ahmed.
that really does look like Ahmed.
Yep.
Sorry.
But
He's
this
smiling.
Excuse me.
This
Is that a
was,
coconut on the left?
it was labeled. It's in a museum in the Inca section. So, but what in the world? This is rope. Would they just take all the bones and tie them together?
Yep.
We're returning. Here you go. Merry Christmas.
And they got an iPod in the middle.
That's
Yeah, and that's
It
cool.
really does look like that skeleton is smiling. It really does.
That's actually the new Mayan calendar, Dennis.
Oh, they went digital, did they?
Yeah.
And then the thing on
Yep.
the left, I don't know if that's supposed to be like a mummified. They did that. It's the
I
same
think
thing on the right.
That's the same thing on the right. Yeah.
It's what was in the bag.
Okay.
I don't
It's
know.
like a coconut.
Was this
Yeah.
their form of burial? Okay, but is this like similar to other Eastern countries that they buried them sitting up and facing a certain way?
Yeah.
Do you know what I mean?
Yeah.
I don't know, because a lot of times some of those countries they buried them sitting up, but they were facing to whatever east or west or north or south. I mean, some of them had a particular religion to face that, but
I'm getting a download that that's an enemy that they did not want it to reincarnate,
So they break it apart so it can't.
and they tie it so it can't come back.
You noticed the one on the head?
Yeah.
The head pulling it down or attaching it, that's really odd to me.
I wonder if they're trying to tie the bottom jaw so they can't talk either.
He is smiling though. The nice set of teeth.
Oh yeah, without a doubt. Yeah.
That's a grin.
Well, I
never
hope
seen a
I
grin
hope
on
the
a
one on
skeleton.
the left. I hope the one on the left is not a doll that they put to bed with a kid. That's creepy.
Be right back.
Excuse me.
I was looking at things that they were finding in the Inca museums, and I thought, what in the world is that supposed to be?
Now, did you come across the one article? There was only one mention of giants in their culture. It was very vague, and I didn't give it a lot of validity because I couldn't find hardly anything on it. It was another rabbit hole and too much time.
Yeah, I didn't come across that at all.
There was. I'll see if I can dig that back up for you. But there was a reference to giants, but I couldn't tell if it was from their culture or another culture.
Interesting.
But it was, again, when we talk about all, and then I realized I can't go down this rabbit hole because it seems like in most cultures there has been some form or some story of giants.
Right.
And I didn't really see that here except for that one mention. But was it the disinformation to kind of look over here, look over here?
I
This
get
one
distraction.
maybe did not have giants. But then again, when you think about the Native American culture and the red-haired giants, how did that not interact?
Well, going back
many
to that red
respects?
hair, because that leads you back to the Anunnaki as
Yeah.
well.
Yeah.
So,
But that's what I thought was interesting. There really was no mention of giants. And granted, maybe it's just the language or they didn't write it down.
right.
But again, you would think something like that they would. Even if
Well, it
it was
makes
just
you- it's still
holy
one of
shit,
those-
there's giant people out there.
If it's still one of those things that they did write it down, but it was the information was taken and hidden from us, maybe they did write it down. We just don't know about it.
Right.
Interesting.
So Dennis was, I think, Peggy, you were asking about which life is this for Dennis. This was Dennis's first. He was the start of the Inca. We'll call him Inca 1 or Inca Adam. He always seems to be the first of many.
Inca
Or
Dinka
what's
Doo.
to come.
Doo.
Inca Dinka Doo. There you go.
Yes, there you go.
Thank you, do. Now you're gonna get that Skidamarinka Dinky Doo song in my head.
All right, now we're not just for my knowledge. I caught you the last show. We're gonna pass on some of these roundtables because of Nadia's going to be out of town. You're going to be moving. We're gonna go
I'm gonna probably
away
pause
for a
at
few
least
weeks.
for a couple of weeks at
Yeah.
least, and we'll just play it by ear where spirit leads. Because I know you're busy. Because you'll get the deck built sometime this summer.
Yeah,
But,
it's coming, and then the greenhouse, and then whatever else the wife wants. And if I have anything left, and if I find my testicles, oh, sorry.
That's not it, Jade. That's not. I know you held
They're out
that.
in the yard somewhere. Sorry. I'm
That's
still
not
looking
it.
for.
Okay.
That was a slip. I apologize.
But I like,
whatever
I like
the wife
Jen's
has me doing.
idea that anybody who has questions for Wednesday can
Yeah,
add
that'd be
for
great. Or
everything that
even
we went through.
throw some stuff out there what they'd like to hear. I definitely want to do Enoch. I want to do something with India, or at least the Hindu religion. The architecture there, stunning.
Yeah.
I think the detail of it all puts just about every other culture to shame, as far as the majesty of and the depth of the carvings.
I want to do
It's
a
amazing.
dive into Lemuria, Tartaria.
Agreed. Tartaria, definitely.
Tartarians.
Yeah, definitely Tartaria.
Well, let's just give a reminder. What
Underwater
we
city.
did, we did the pyramid. We did Parthenons. The Dome of the Rock
Dome
and
of the Rock. Yep.
We did Dead Sea, Petra,
And Sodom and Gomorrah.
Easter Island,
Mm-hmm.
Stonehenge, and now we're doing the Mayan, Aztecs, and Incas.
Yeah.
So those can, if you guys want to formulate and
Middle Earth.
Middle Earth would be great. Middle Earth would be
Middle
great.
Earth, yeah.
Wow.
Just
Okay.
throw them out there, and I mean,
I just go a little deeper in
Yeah.
the rabbit hole. I think I'll find Middle Earth.
yeah. And Jen,
I'll buy
whenever
some more carrots for Jay.
Yeah, please do. And Jen, whenever you're popping on, if that switches your schedule, just let us know. I know you're going to be with packing and moving. You might not be able to do the Monday morning coffee chats or whatever you need to do.
I'm going to fly by the seat of my pants at this point because
Exactly.
you know.
That's all. Just for people to know, just to bear with us, and you know, unfortunately, life's getting in the way. But
I
it's
think
for the good.
Until you come back.
I think all the deep diving is like taking us to a rabbit hole straight to the beginning of the first time we even started asking these questions.
Right.
Yeah.
Exactly. It seems to
If
be
we
a
have
full circle.
A question and answer moment and involve the live chatters.
Uh-huh.
We can do that next week if you want, if you have time.
Yeah, we can do that. Yeah, if they've got questions, we can ask Taro, and if they just want to talk, because I never really get to watch the chat when we're doing this because we're so busy. But
And I am really sorry about my comment. Sorry, it just spewed out there.
whatever.
That's what I was saying. I would text to Dennis. It was along those lines. Still looking for them. They're out there.
Can I just add, and we were talking about this last night, sociology wise, Mayans just kept building and building and building. And from what I know in sociology, you take away nature, you get more aggressive people.
Mm-hmm. That's a valid point.
Yep.
And the only thing that we didn't really touch on, but you did mention it, one of you, the roads. The road system that the Mayans built was incredible. Puts the Romans to shame in many respects.
Well, that's what I mean. They studied the Rome. How did they study the Romans to come in?
Exactly. And then on top of it, put them to shame in many aspects of it. But again, it was just miles and miles and miles, hundreds and thousands of miles of road.
Mm-hmm.
How do you coordinate that? You know, look, the logistics alone. In other words, hey, you go build here, then someone has to go out 300, 400, 500 miles to get them to tell them, hey, turn, you know, or something. I mean, again, the logistics, there's much more to this than this simple 3D thing of communication. There had to be something more. There had to be something much greater.
The funny thing is they were so great at logistics, but yet they died of lack of food.
Yes.
So
and that
everybody built the road, but we forgot about farmers.
They were bad hunters.
One other thing I want to mention that you mentioned about, when you build things. Also, I've noticed the more you take away trees in society, the more evil they get. Just look at your cities. The lack of trees. I mean, suburbs and rural, a lot less crime, a lot less.
So my
Evil,
craziness,
dark
I can blame
trees.
it on living in the city. That's where my craziness
Well,
comes from. It's
I
not
mean,
really.
I just think taking nature away
I agree.
is very much. I mean, like I plant, like my tree, the one that healed me, is not budding yet. It's dormant. I know it's dormant, but it shouldn't be.
You took all its energy.
Not all.
Hey,
Half
listen,
Damn.
I feel terrible already.
Half
Okay,
of
it
it,
gave
half
it,
of
Dang.
but
The tree
I'm
was
just
happy
saying,
to do it, though.
I understand that, but I
it
know it's
offered.
dormant. But
It
again,
offered.
what I'm getting at is this is like a loss for me. And my wife was like, "Oh, we're gonna have to cut that down." I'm like, "Give it a chance," I'm like, "What are you talking about?" But what I'm getting at is nature itself. I'm feeling the loss of that because it's not blooming, and it's bothering me. But I really do think when you take away that lack of tree and beauty and everything, just look at your. Don't they call it an urban jungle? There's no trees.
Yeah.
The jungle's the street lights again.
Yep.
The less nature, the angrier the person.
Concrete
I've always
jungles.
known.
That's what it seems to be.
That's how they
Yeah.
did with countries too. There are countries that they took away all its water and beauty, and just to make it a more of a violent place.
Yeah.
Except the Aztecs of central Mexico, their pyramids were surrounded by water canals. And
Yeah, I saw that, but was that for irrigation or was it? I couldn't go down the rabbit hole on that one. I agree with you 100% on that, but was it on purpose or was it to be in harmony? You know what I mean?
there it is, yeah. That looks like harmony to me.
No, that's damn beautiful. Period. I mean, honestly, think about that. If that's what it actually looked like, wow. Almost looks like Atlantis, doesn't it?
I was thinking that too. They're very similar with all the aqueducts.
Yeah.
And old ancient Tartaria, as far as I understand, were built like this too, with the aqueducts running through the city.
Right. They weren't so
Well,
much
so was
the
Atlantis.
gigantic stone things. Yeah.
Yep.
I think we're getting a misconception of that. I think there was a whole lot more with that.
Yeah.
But I just thought that, wow, they made one place so deadly with no nature. And then they added, hey, I think maybe if we add water and greenery, we can live in harmony.
Yeah. Because it has to do with frequency.
Mm-hmm.
Yep. Absolutely. All right. Well, thank you guys for joining me today. Lee's schedule changed. He's going to get ready to come home. He had to go in early. I have Oracle cards. Do you want to stay on for Oracle, or do you want me to let you go? You jump off if you want to. It doesn't matter.
No, I'm gonna probably go just because I'm sitting here in my grass-covered pants in my nice shirt. So I appreciate it, but I'm gonna go ahead out and finish and do what I gotta do. But thank you, Lee. Thank you, everyone. Appreciate it. Love you all. And we'll see you in a few weeks. We'll keep you all posted.
Yep.
That's not a good copy of being camouflaged pants.
He's making a ghillie suit.
Yeah, it's I mean, I do what I do. I get into the environment. That's all.
Camo.
One with one.
He likes some other guy on him.
On him. Just no poison ivy. See you guys. Love you.
Love you.
I'm gonna let you go too, Jen. I'll be listening in the background, but
that's fine. I'm just gonna pull oracles.
All you know. Bye.
Bye.
I'll step aside and I'll just listen for you.
All right. All righty. Here we go. So, oracles today. Angel of Abundance is conscious consumer. We've had that one before. It's been a while though. You have the power to heal and help the world with your decision to buy only products and services that are ethical and environmentally friendly. As a conscious consumer, you choose to invest in fair trade and organic goods. You live simply and you purchase only which you need. Well, we try to because we're broke, but who can afford organic most of the time? Isn't that crazy, the prices? All right. Your archangel today is fascinating. It's your own personal guardian angel, which means love yourself unconditionally and ask for help, especially when you need it, right? All right, this card reminds you that you are loved unconditionally. And when you remember that, your self-worth, self-esteem, and confidence increase. You feel happier and more harmonious, and you view the outside world with eyes of love. Well, I'm always asking wings for help. Help me find something. All right. Today, our Sacred Forest card oracle is Moonlight Enchantment, which represents magic. And we'll go out and howl at the moon. This one is, it says, believe in magic. You are being given powerful mystical messages from spirit. Take time to listen. Allow the luminescence, receptive energy of the moon to activate your creativity. And you receive mystical messages, and you are a spiritual messenger for others. Believe in magic. Isn't that a song? I believe in magic. Okay. Oracles from the chakras are, I don't know, who's still down on themselves? Your self-worth, and know that you're important. Remember the guardian angel one. It says also love yourself. You gotta love yourself. Don't spit on the mirror. We've talked about that. Know that you are worthy. You are precious, the good precious. And that you are, you're a child of the Creator, and you were made to be you. Love yourself. Now, perfection comes in here. Don't always try to be perfect, because we're not. And the quicker we realize that and let the ego step aside, we realize that the greatest form of perfection is going within and loving yourself for who you are and accepting who you are. God doesn't make junk. Just saying. And then the final card today is growth. Grow spiritually, grow emotionally. I'm always growing this way. I don't know. But growth, it just represents you can start with a little seed and let it bloom. Just like Rocco was talking about the tree, and it hasn't budded or bloomed this year. Give it a chance. Be patient. Growth can be really, really fast, and growth can be snail's pace, and you get irritated and frustrated, but realize the Lord's timing is everything. Can we agree on that? Amen and amen. All right. You're not perfect? Did you not get the memo? Okay. All right. Guys, that's it for your oracles today. Thank you for joining me with this roundtable and our Brainiac family, picking our brains. Sometimes we're just sitting there going, I know we didn't really get into the Incas. I still have all the information. If we want to pick it up later, dive into it, that's fine. But it is a lot. And I know Dennis has probably been up all night, needs a nap. Rocco's got stuff to do. And I'm sure Nadia's going to go walk Schneider. That's usually what she's doing. But anyway, thanks for joining me. I will see you Friday night, 7 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. And we'll do whatever you want to. We'll pull cards on whatever you want to personally. Or if you've got questions about roundtable stuff, bring them on. Okay? I will see you Friday night. Love and light. Some when you need it. Blessings, blessings. I love you. I love you. And I will talk to you later. Bye-bye.